He would take your head off.
Guys, you just see how successfully I just put that baby down without waking her up?
She looks dead.
She's max
Like
chill.
it looks like there's a dead baby on the set.
She is max chill.
She's max chill. I assume we probably haven't had Zaya on the podcast yet, have we?
I don't think so.
No, there's a baby in our midst. She's pretty damn cute. Look at her.
Don't you
Make her say something, Brian.
Don't you make a sound.
Make her say something.
Hey, your first podcast.
What's wrong with her, Tay?
Say something.
Hey, broken.
Hey.
Don't embarrass me.
How funny would it be though if you put the mic in her face and she just went, "Help me, help! My dad's a Machiavellian. Help!"
He's manipulating everybody.
Hello, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of Feel Good Friday. And you know what? It is Friday, and I'm feeling good. Feeling real good. Gonna go on a camping trip this weekend. Can't wait.
Are you doing Pollitt's?
No, I'm
this
going.
weekend?
No, I'm going to this place called Spencer's Cove.
Where's that?
It's out past Parsboro. For folks who don't know, that's a place in Nova Scotia.
Parsboro is really nice.
So yeah, really looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun. Probably gonna take part in some while we're out and about.
Cool.
Oh, that's illegal.
But I'll tell you one thing. When we're camping this weekend, it's gonna be hot, right? Real hot,
like hot heat.
like hot heat. And I'll tell you,
It's hot heat right now.
Hot heat.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. This guy who went camping, where he went, it was not hot. Okay. Check out this video. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, I highly suggest you go check this out. This is from one of my least favorite Instagram accounts of all time, Medical Talks.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
What do you think that is?
I don't believe it. Nope.
What do you think that was?
I don't believe that at all.
Those are cooked fingies.
No, they
dude,
ain't
those
cooked.
Are frostbite fingies.
They ain't cooked, dude. They're way too frozen.
Oh no!
I don't believe that.
That is a real thing. So on the 17th of July, 2021, Fahad, this gentleman, started the fateful summit push on Broad Peak. And by summit the next day, several accidents happened, leaving him hypothermic and his hands severely frostbitten. Let's look at it one more time. Not sure. It's a peak though. Oh my God, dude. Oh. So for folks that aren't
dude, I don't know, man.
For people
I don't know.
For people that this is real.
No, it's medical talks.
It is medical talks.
Legit.
Medical Talks is legit.
Yeah, and they do verify their shit. So for people who are just listening, it's a video that the guy took himself in an elevator, and you know sometimes you're in an elevator and it's a glass, like the walls are
Must be in
are
Southern
glass,
Hemisphere, right?
a mirrored wall.
Yeah.
So he's looking at himself, and he takes his four fingers, from the tip of the finger right down to the base. All four fingers are completely black, frostbitten, and that noise that you heard is him clanging his fingers off the glass. So
it's on the China-Pakistan border.
Okay.
And it's the summit is 8,051 meters.
So yeah, pretty cold up there. Never in a million years did he ever think he would lose his fingers to frostbite, especially doing what he loved most, climbing mountains. His life, his body will never be the same again. After this life-changing surgery, and even the most basic tasks will be a great challenge. Will he still possess the passion and capability to conquer more mountains? So frostbite, if you aren't familiar, is a type of gangrene caused by freezing of the skin and underlying tissue. The nature of frostbite has been highly controversial. Until recently, it was believed that it was a direct thermal injury to the tissue. Others believed the indirect injury resulted from changes in the microcirculation. It appears that both mechanisms are actually important to have frostbite. Cold can destroy tissue directly by forming intracellular ice crystals, or more commonly by interstitial freezing with consequent extraction of water from the cells. But the blood supply to the frozen area also undergoes profound changes. Frostbite causes tortuous dilation of the small vessels, as well as occlusions and intravascular tubular filling defects.
Those aren't good.
Yeah.
Wait, but are your is your skin black because the tissue's just all dead?
It's just that's it.
You know what's
that's
funny?
Exactly it.
Is that usually when we look at something or so a guest brings something up or whatever, and I'm familiar with it, or I go, I know about that. It's usually because I read something scholarly or an article somewhere that of some publication of some repute. And my knowledge of that was Frostbite directly from Big Daddy. Or no, sorry, not Big Daddy.
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
Oh,
Mr. Deeds, when he takes off his foot and he gets John, what's his name, to hit his foot with the crowbar.
Yeah, that's right. So the tissue, what happens is the tissue dies slowly because it receives little to no oxygen and nutrients from the blood. But it does not become infected, which is what happens in cases of wet gangrene.
I wonder
so
why
there's no infection. It's just death. It's just tissue death.
I wonder why tissue turns black when it dies, though. Like, what is it that makes it able to turn so dark?
Like what? Why does everything turn black when it rots? You know, like black is like the color of rot. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like when something's rotten, it's like it's black.
Yeah.
You know, you see like a rotten onion, like that's black onion in it.
Yeah,
you know?
everything does. Yeah, I wonder, dude.
Except bread. I bet it turns white.
It does, yeah.
Or green.
Dog shit, rotten dog shit goes
mold.
white.
Yeah.
I bet there's a science to why.
Alive.
Right, and I guess mold isn't really rot, is it?
Right, that's right. It's just
shit, dude.
Whoa, dude. I hate to get
guys. How high are we right
now?
now?
What the fuck is the meaning of life? I bet there's I know that there's a smart person out there who could tell us exactly why things turn black when they rot.
Why do most things turn black when they rot? Well, let's find out. Here we go. Good question. It is because most. No, you know what? I'm not going to use Cora. Let's not go down that route.
I bet there's a lot of interesting responses to the reason.
You know, it's not that easy to find after just one quick Google search. So I don't know.
Something else do it.
I can imagine.
Speaking of food and rot, and kind of throwing back to something we talked about last week. Last week we covered a story about a very neat meat substitute burger, a vegan burger that tastes like human flesh. Now, you guys were naysayers. I believe it probably tasted exactly like the thing because why not? If we can put men on the moon, why couldn't we just figure out what fucking human flesh tastes like and make it into a vegan burger?
Wow, when you put it that way.
You know
what though? On that note though, not to go too off the rails here, but I was at a bachelor party on the weekend and they had that one of those boxes of every flavored jelly beans.
I thought you were going to say we ate the stripper.
How was your bachelor party?
It was interesting. But they had in the jelly bean box, it had like a spinny wheel on the top, and you would spin the wheel and you would get a
she's saying something.
Hello. You wanted to say something?
Oh, she stopped.
Sucking okay. on her hands.
I'm used to being interrupted by Taylor and Jer, so nothing new here. But when you spin the wheel, it would land on a like this or that. So it would be a flavor of jelly bean that would look like the jelly bean would look the same, but it could potentially be two different flavors, and one would be like fruit, and the other one would be like throw up.
Yeah, right.
And dude, the nasty ones. It's so remarkable how well they do at mimicking.
Yeah, like earwax, right? Like did you taste the earwax one?
Old Bandage.
Ew,
dude,
ew.
Old Bandage was one, and I got it, and I threw up in my mouth, dude.
Ew.
I've never been so sick, felt so sick from eating a candy.
Okay, so now, what do you think? Do you think they could make a vegan burger taste like human flesh?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, man. If they can make a jelly bean taste like Old Bandage,
but like, is Old Bandage like one level removed from human flesh?
There's probably some human flesh in the Old Bandage.
Yeah, but there's an ethical way to test the taste of Old Bandage. There's not really an ethical way to go about
Who
testing.
said anything about them using ethics? It's a fucking vegan burger maker.
That isn't held to like ethical standards of any
I've
kind?
never met an ethical vegan in my life.
Or legal.
You know what those monocrops are doing to this world?
Oh, dude, don't get me started on Monsanto.
So anyway, speaking of nasty shit and cannibalism, I found this really cool study. Cannibalism study finds that people are not that nutritious. And actually, this kind of ties into the guy climbing the peaks because you get up there, run out of food. Your plane crashes in the mountains.
That probably makes sense.
You got to eat your
To
bub.
me.
So note to the prehistoric party planner, one dead mammoth can feed, how many Neanderthals do you think one dead mammoth could feed? For
40.
a month.
For a month.
Oh man.
How many people for a month?
Probably like I would say
40, yeah.
no, I'd say more like 150 or 200
Way off. A little closer. 25 hungry Neanderthals for a month. But cannibalizing a human would provide the crowd with only a third of a day's calories. Essentially, you're a walking lunch. A new look at the nutritional value. This is really your walking lunch. A new look at the nutritional value of human flesh shows that compared with other Paleolithic prey animals, humans weren't especially packed with calories for their size. Quote, when you compare us to other animals, we're not very nutritional at all. Study author James Cole of the University of Brighton.
I feel like you're like trying to convince all the cannibals from last week that this is not a good idea.
this is
like
Just stick to the vegan burger, all right?
Yeah.
So they posted their work in scientific reports. According to his estimates, boars and beavers pack. Oh, she did say something.
What did you say?
You said something. Oh my
wanna
God,
say
this is
something
almost
again?
impossible to record because you're so fucking cute. So boars and beavers pack about 1,800 calories into each pound of muscle, compared with a measly 650 calories from a modern human. So a pound of beaver is 1,800 calories, whereas a pound of human flesh is 650 calories.
Huh.
That's about what we would expect based on our overall size and muscularity compared to other animals, he says. So Cole asks, if humans aren't especially valuable in terms of prey, why eat them? After all, unless they are sick or dying, they wouldn't be easy to hunt. Quote, you have to get together a hunting party and track these people, and then they aren't just standing there waiting for you to stab them with a spear, says Cole.
Dude, this is a strange study.
It's fucking great. It's great. I love this shit. Instead, Cole argues that perhaps not all ancient cannibalism was for filling bellies. It may have also served various social functions for early human and their ancestors.
Oh, I thought he was talking about right now. I was like,
No.
I was like, you're describing hunting as if it's not just murder.
Yeah. Archaeologists have found evidence of cannibalism in the human family tree at least as far back as 800,000 years. And though cutting and gnawing marks on bones can't reveal motivations, ancient remains do offer a few clues to how widespread cannibalistic practices were throughout human evolution. Past the hot baby. At the Grandolina cave site in Spain, for instance, the butchered remains of bison, sheep, and deer were mixed with those of at least 11 humans, all children or adolescents, whose bones showed signs of cannibalism. In addition to marks showing flesh was stripped from the bone, evidence suggests that the Grandolina residents, an ancient human relative called Homo antecessor, ate their victims' brains.
Wow.
That doesn't sound very healthy. A little prion action going on there.
What a prion?
Prion?
What's that?
Prions are like you can only get prions through eating brain matter, and prions are dangerous to humans for sure.
It sounded like something from Land of the Lost.
I think prions are like the things that are kind of linked to like mad cow disease and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Interesting.
like when
God, I hope I get it.
Is that makes a lot of sense though, because like it is interesting that we don't eat brains. I've never thought of that. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
we do some.
we do.
We do eat some brains.
Yeah.
what brains do we eat?
lamb brain. Like I'm pretty sure. I'm
Is there
pretty sure like
a
some
s- is
cultures
there a
eat like
squid brain or something like that, or
I feel like
squid or octopus
sea
brain?
creatures' brains don't really count.
Why?
Less developed.
Wow, burn. Major burn on sea creatures.
Sorry, dolphins. I mean, I like
Well, they're mammals.
the 12-year-old like dolphin wannabe dolphin trainer. I know, guys. I know. I wanted to work at SeaWorld when I was 12.
Yeah, because SeaWorld's the best.
That part of me just
You
cried
heard it
inside.
first here, folks. Brian wants to work at SeaWorld now.
Here's a little thing on what prions are. So prion disease. What are prion diseases? Prion diseases comprise several conditions. A prion is a type of protein that can trigger normal proteins in the brain to fold abnormally. Prion diseases can affect both humans and animals, and are sometimes spread to humans by infected meat products. The most common form of prion disease that affects humans is Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease.
Wait, is that mad cow disease? No.
No, I don't think so. CJD, a person can inherit this condition, in which case it's called familial CJD. Sporadic CJD, on the other hand, develops suddenly without any known risk factors. What causes prion disease? So prion diseases occur when normal prion protein found in the surface of many cells becomes abnormal and clump in the brain, causing brain damage. This abnormal accumulation of protein in the brain can cause memory impairment, personality changes, and difficulties with movement. You
know what's crazy is that you can eat shit and then it can fuck up your entire body.
Dude, like there was a guy that ate a salamander and he died. Well, we did the
slug,
story.
yeah.
Well, the slug, but there was one recently of a guy ate a salamander and his insides just fucking turned to mush and he just leaked out.
And but that is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, I guess, but it's still
it makes a
crazy.
lot of sense. Yeah.
Because you are what you eat.
So back to those
dude, magic school bus.
back to those remains that they found in the cave. The remains were also mixed with those of other animals and had been prepared the same way, lending some anthropologists to suggest that cannibalism at the site might not have been done in a food stress emergency or as a ritual behavior. Perhaps human flesh was a common supplement to their diet, or perhaps the youngsters were outsiders and cannibalism served as an effective keep out sign. The bones can't say for sure. Which is man, can you imagine just like going back in time and just watching that? Yeah, it's so crazy. In some cases, cannibalism may have been purely practical. Quote, the issue is not one of nutrition as an alternative to large game, says anthropologist Eric Trinkaus of Washington University in St. Louis. Quote, it is an issue of survival when there are no other food sources. Members of one's social group have died and the surviving members consume the bodies of already dead people. So, I mean, we see that today in modern times with, that like soccer team that crashed their plane.
Plane crashes and shit, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if you got to do it, you got to do it.
Yeah. Who do you think would be the most nutritious out of the three of us?
Probably Taylor.
Yeah. Same. Probably Zaya, actually. Hey, you look pretty good.
She's got some chubby cheeks.
She's got some, those cheeks filleted.
Yeah.
Whew.
I think Brian.
You're looking at me.
I feel like I might be more nutritious from the waist down, but that's not a dick comment. It's just
it could be.
It could be. I feel
Well,
like you're
Dude,
more
your
full-
sausage would be great between a set of buns and like some mustard.
I feel like you're more well-rounded.
And what I would do is I would slice the tip, both ends in fours, so that when I cook it, it like peels back, and you got that
Right.
spider.
Yeah.
I definitely
yeah.
have more meat on my body, but you probably eat better than I do.
Oh, you think I'm like more like you feel like I'm more like a lean piece of fish?
Yeah, you're like a Kobe beef.
Oh, okay, yeah. Would you like
I'm like an American beef burger.
would you beat it up before, like, would you tenderize?
For sure, yeah. Obviously, if you had to eat human meat, how would you prep it?
What do you mean? Like I would
I'm curious. Like you, so your
I'd prep it the same way that I'd prep
a
a like cattle or like a deer. I would strip the skin.
Mhm.
I would slice off the nice meaty parts
With
and,
your like vast experience
yeah.
of
Yeah.
doing this.
I mean, I've seen it done. That's all. You see it once, you know how to do it.
What would be the first cut of meat that you would take from a human?
Probably the ass. Probably the ass and the thighs.
Dude, my ass would be.
I feel like
Ass,
would be
thighs,
a
and
bit
ass,
fatty.
thighs, and your tits. Like
Yeah.
you got some good pecs. I'd shave those off.
Thanks.
And then and depending on the person, like if it was our buddy John, his back.
yeah,
like-
I want lat meat.
Yeah.
John,
I want a nice lat.
Yeah, nice.
I feel
like
like
a nice,
I feel
nice
like
competitive
lat would
paddler.
be tough. I feel like it'd be a tough cut. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think would be the best cut?
Yes.
Honestly, I'm not even joking.
It's the most juicy, and it's also relaxed a lot of the
I think
time.
they'd be too fatty.
I bet you the dick is pretty good.
I bet the dick is pretty good.
Like that, I bet you that's some good meat. You know, like cut it off, slice it down the center, open it up, pull out the urethra. Now you have is just flesh.
Yeah.
And then just like splay it open, lay it on a grill.
It's
I
the
bet
most it's the most familiar shape,
I bet it's a
to
bit
meat,
gamey.
you know? Like,
Depends on whose meat you're
like
eating.
you really got to chew on it.
Anyway, Cole says that working out the calorie count of human flesh was a bit disconcerting, as it forced him to think about what cannibalism would be like. He said, "I found it quite difficult to eat bacon for the last year or so." So there we go. Speaking of children, here is a TikTok that I saw. I have nothing to say of it other than we're just going to watch it. And this shit made me laugh so fucking hard.
Is this the fucking tortilla challenge?
No, this is, dude, this is, so this is a way to treat children or adolescents who have like scoliosis or like spinal issues, right?
Correcting the spine with halo gravity traction. For severe spinal or scoliosis deformities in kids, about 4 to 8 pins are placed in the skull. This weight and pulley system is then used to lengthen the spine before spinal
That looks
surgery.
dangerous.
I mean, that kid's loving it. That
He
kid's
is loving it.
Explain to the listeners who aren't watching what we just
Oh my
what
god!
we
Okay,
just
so
witnessed.
that kid has like a halo, like sort of attachment around his head, and he's hanging. That's attached to a rope, which is attached to the ceiling, and he is hanging from it, from his head.
It's like an
and he's like hula hooping.
it's like an extreme version of the Jolly Jumper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
it's like
Oh,
the Jolly
yeah.
Hanger.
Except
Yeah.
you're not bouncing up and down. You're literally just spinning in a circle.
Right.
It's like helicopter. Like, you know when you like
Yeah,
hold a
yeah.
kid by their
Yeah.
arms and like spin them around? It's that, but by your head.
This is a go to YouTube moment, folks.
Yeah,
You're gonna
it
wanna go
definitely
there because of that shit. Can we watch that again?
Yeah,
That was
totally. Here we
amazing.
go. Ready?
I want to see it too.
Correcting the spine with halo gravity traction. For severe spinal or scoliosis deformities in kids, about 4 to 8 pins are placed in the skull. This weight and pulley system is then used to lengthen the spine before spinal surgery.
Dude, he is chilling.
He loves it. The kid loves
He
it.
does love it. Yeah.
I mean, fuck, I would love it.
Dude, Zay, I'm gonna do that for you, even though you don't have scoliosis.
That's got to be dangerous though. Like if like unnecessarily. Would
yeah,
that
I
be
mean,
dangerous?
well, if a full grown man was doing it, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's gonna fuck your neck.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like,
Now
Think-
think about the weight. That kid's so little.
yeah, but think about a headstand. Well, it's not that. It wouldn't be that much different from doing a headstand because
Yeah, it
you're,
would
you're,
be. You're,
'cause it's still the weight of your body
but
pulling down versus pushing in.
Oh.
I think there's a difference between pushing down and hanging.
I think it's like the but imagine though
One's
the
compression and
that's
one's
how-
traction.
that's
it's
how
the
we
G
used-
forces of your legs spinning around.
Yeah.
Not that there's G forces, but like
Well,
the
yeah,
momentum
I know
of the
what you mean.
legs swinging that are actually pulling you even
Yeah.
harder.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
used to kill people.
Yeah, right.
We just
Right.
did that, but we
Yeah,
just put
hang
the
them.
rope around the neck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's all about snapping the fucking
The
spine.
exact
dude.
same
the
thing.
position
it.
of the rope makes a really big difference.
I don't know. It depends on how heavy you are, man. I don't know.
You know what?
I
You
think
you
she
guys want
might
to hear
poop
some
you.
secondhand information that I heard from somebody today that sounded remarkable to me, but could be true?
Sure.
Well,
might
you've
not be.
already prefaced it with secondhand, so we can go full on, and you don't have to
Sweet.
apologize
Okay,
for it at all.
So I heard that. So you know how like in the animal kingdom, mammals like deer, for example, give birth to baby deer, and the baby deer pops out, and it's like full on just walking
Yes,
right
Yeah.
away,
this
right?
is something I think
Giraffes,
about
too.
frequently.
So do you know the reason why humans like still need to develop after they're born?
Because we've evolved into the greatest species.
It's because of one part of their body in particular that just, if it was to
Their-
cook longer, they would just be too big to pass through the vagina.
Their head.
Yes. So it's apparently, this is my secondhand information.
Sorry, can you say that again? What do you,
So the brain is
Yeah.
developing, which is why the head is growing faster as a kid. This is my secondhand information.
Kids' heads are
And
fucking
so
huge.
That's why kids' heads are like disproportionately bigger when they're born, is because the size of their brain is developing, which is also why their skull it's still soft, so it can pass through the birth canal.
Uh-huh.
They can be born, but that's why they would cook longer in the vagina, and the brain would
Wait,
develop
hold on, why are you
longer
using the word cook?
because it's like prepping.
and why are you using the word vagina?
in the
Uterus?
uterus?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's
By
just
cook,
funnier.
do you
to
mean
say-
like-
sounds funnier?
Do you mean
saying it like
develop?
that.
By
Yes.
cook, do you mean
Yeah.
develop?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're not like like you would leave them in longer, right?
Right.
But
On 350.
but they have to be made. They have to come out at that time,
Right.
This is
Because
so
their
dumb.
brains, their head would
head-
get too big, and they
right,
would get stuck.
right.
Well,
Okay.
speaking of big head, I saw this video.
She's got a soft little spot that's getting a little bit tighter all the time.
Uh,
top of her
that's
head.
crazy.
Definitely don't push it.
Oh,
I saw this
didn't
crazy
push it.
video of a kid to do take her arms and do this with her. Connect her hands over her head. Bring her hands together as close as they can go. Okay.
She's
You know
pooping
why
it.
she can't do that?
Because her arms aren't long
Because
enough?
her head's so. Now imagine,
Yeah, her
imagine
head's
if
big,
your
yeah.
head was so big that you did that, and your hands were like you couldn't do it.
Yeah,
It's
right.
crazy.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like
Yeah.
it's a
Crazy
huge
how big
head.
it
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a big
It's
head.
a big,
and
big
and
fucking-
it would stay in the vagina cooking longer.
yeah.
You're all head, girl.
Well, speaking of vaginas, this has nothing to do with them. This is from Motherboard. I thought this was really interesting. A product in the States, honey for men, secretly contains Viagra, the FDA has warned.
Wait, isn't that app that you use at checkout to
Dude,
save you
honey's
money?
sick.
Yeah, it saves you a bunch of money
I
all
love
the time.
honey. We're not sponsored. Just love it.
This is actual honey that you put in your mouth.
Oh, okay.
The FDA issued warnings to 4 companies that make honey marketed to men about their lacing their products with boner meds.
Man, how crazy is it that when you said the word honey, the first thing I thought of was an app and not the actual real thing.
That is kind of wild.
That's marketing.
Yeah.
Just
Marketing, man.
consumes your brain.
The FDA's laboratory testing found that product samples contained active drug ingredients not listed on the product's labels, including the active drug ingredients found in Cialis and Viagra, which are FDA-approved drugs used to treat men with erectile dysfunction, the statement issued on Wednesday said. The letters went to Thirsty Run LLC, also known as U.S. Royal Honey LLC, MKS Enterprise LLC, Shopax.com, and 1AM USA Incorporated.
Shophacks.com. Maybe that's Honey's parent company.
Yeah, maybe. Thirsty Run sells things like, quote, Secret Miracle Royal Honey for her that the company
For her.
that the company claims is a specialty blend of royal honey, is designed to increase sexual pleasure and performance, and Dose Vital Honey for men, that the product page says is, quote, filled with the most potent and natural source of sexual power and testosterone. Vital Honey, that is filled with rich floral nectar and a mix of select roots to maximize the effect. I mean, not so natural. It's full of fucking
the root
Cialis.
pharmaceutical drug.
It's like McDonald's, 100% pure beef.
Yeah.
So these products, they are foods, but they're also technically drugs in the eyes of the FDA, since they promise the, quote, cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease, like preventing bacterial infections and reducing prostate illnesses, according to the letter the FDA sent to Thirsty Run. Quote, tainted honey-based products like these are dangerous because consumers are likely unaware of the risks associated with the hidden prescription drug ingredients in these products.
Yeah, no kidding.
And-
How they obviously they're not aware. They're sneaking them in, right?
Yeah. The risk isn't just of popping a hard-on you didn't expect, but of serious illness or even death. Cialis and Viagra are prescription medications that are taken under a doctor's supervision. And in that setting, they're safe. But if they're taken without consulting a doctor or unregulated doses, they can be dangerous, especially for people with heart disease issues. Now, here's the thing. If I was getting this honey, I love honey. Dude, I lather my bread with honey. And like,
Yeah.
sometimes like my throat's sore, I'll just drink honey.
You know what
My
I don't
voice-
understand?
Like
I-
I'd be walking
dude.
around with the fucking rager all
How did
day.
they figure it out? Did someone get
Wait.
like a crazy boner and then they were like, wait,
That's a good question.
had the
I mean, maybe the FDA was like, well, we gotta like they're going through we go through our list of
Probably
applicants
test,
on the
yeah.
show. They're just like, oh, we got to the honey. Let's test this. And they go, whoa, this is a
Yeah.
bunch of boner pills.
You know what's interesting, guys, is how often do you feel the serving of food that you have matches the recommended serving size on like a packaging?
Oh, never.
never.
So why is the recommended serving size always
Dude,
so,
you know what's
it's
you know
so
what the
misleading.
recommended serving size of a full bag of Doritos is?
how many servings are in it?
Well, I don't know, but like the thing when you read the thing, it's like how much fat is in a serving?
Yeah.
20 chips.
Okay, so how many servings would you say is in a full bag, roughly?
180?
180 servings or chips?
Chips.
Yeah. Okay, so like 9 servings roughly.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that you like who would ever eat that bag in 9 sittings?
It's crazy.
I would eat it in
only
the one
ever
sit.
eat it in one
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I would,
crazy.
if a bag of chips gets opened, it gets finished immediately
100%.
by
100%.
myself.
Yeah.
The number
sure.
of companies seeking to make money off of people's sexual woes with shady miracle pills are endless, including bizarre and potentially painful remedies like pouring apple cider vinegar on one's dick.
Oh my god.
Much of the time, supplements like these contain ingredients that just don't work. But sometimes they'll sneak in actually dangerous prescription drugs. In 2021, the FDA advised consumers not to buy Brahma Male Enhancement, which was sold many places, including Walmart stores, because the company added Viagra's active ingredients, sildenafil.
I was listening to this. Reminds me of this is kind of like it's related. It's adjacently related. She falling asleep.
Yeah.
She's
She just
out.
fell
She's
asleep
fucking
in
out.
your
Yeah, I
hands.
just felt her chin just like.
Oh, that
dripping.
was so cute.
I remember listening to I think it was an episode of Joe Rogan like years ago with Jeff Nowitzki, the U.S. anti-drug agency guy. He was like the lead. Oh, she's awake again. He was like the investigator that was trying to take down Lance Armstrong back in the day. And then he started working with the UFC and became like their liaison with the UFC, trying to crack down on anti-doping because the UFC had a long history of doping that they wanted to clean up and everything. And so anyway, he was talking about they were having a conversation about the way in which you hear athletes go, "Oh, I took a tainted supplement,"
Yeah.
and how ridiculous of an excuse that sounds like. But then
But in reality,
he went into detail about how, you know, they would follow these claims and they would find lots of instances of a manufacturing facility being used for like a ton of different supplements.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, if you get one supplement that's made with a banned substance, and then they're supposed to clean it, and there's supposed to be standards for cleaning before manufacturing and producing another supplement, another brand supplement. But then, you know, human error, they don't clean it as well. They
Just
don't
don't
follow
clean
the
the vats.
the safety standards or whatever. And then these substances actually do end up in
Yeah.
other things that they're not supposed to be in.
Mhm.
And
That's why they think John Jones got nailed. Like John Jones was a UFC fighter, got nailed for doping, and it was trace amounts, but they ended up coming back and going, this was
Right.
likely because
I
the
thought it was
company.
cocaine.
That
was a
that was a
different-
different.
one.
That was different.
The
that was
interesting
not
thing,
that was not a tainted like sugar in a cereal.
my beef with supplements, and like I don't know that much about them, is like like from my lay perspective, I just imagine that if they actually made that much of a difference, they would be illegal, like in competition,
Oh, I mean,
right? I mean, if taking that supplement alone
Yeah, but-
provided some sort of performance enhancement, then it
Honestly,
would be an
I think
illegal-
I think steroids should be legal in all sports.
the reason that's a tough line to draw is because everything enhances your performance. You eat food and it enhances your performance. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Mm.
you need things to be able to perform. It's just like they have to draw the line somewhere with regards to substances and especially pharmaceuticals. I think a lot of it comes down to pharmaceuticals.
Wouldn't I not be able to be a cyclist, like a pro cyclist, because of the Ventolin I take?
Well, I know specifically in cycling, but I think this would be I think they use the same terms for all athletics. There's something called a therapeutic use exemption,
yeah,
Oh,
you'd be
So-
fine. Yeah,
but it depends on what it is. Like,
that's why I was better at you at canoeing.
like if
Yeah,
you
that's
needed to
probably
take,
true.
Just dosing myself with Ventolin twice a day.
like if you needed to take testosterone, they'd be like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, right.
But if it was something that
Right.
was not as, I mean, because testosterone is so like insanely beneficial to your performance. But if it's something that shows like a vague or minor
Right.
performance enhancement, then it's like, okay, you need to use this like steroid, this like topical steroid for something. But that was also something that was majorly abused, therapeutic use exemption.
But you're also taking that not to like give yourself more of that. It's because you have a deficit of it, right? Like your body's not producing it on its own, right?
well, yeah, or you have a doctor that says that
Well,
you're not
yeah,
doing it.
in that
Yeah.
case, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of doping, do you guys think this guy does steroids?
No.
definitely not, dude.
Yeah.
He's just, dude. What's funny is that he's not even like
Just take a second.
he's
and
not ripped. He's just
Oh no.
he's just thick as he's the thickest man I've ever seen.
Okay, you
He
know
has
what?
elephantitis.
Well, some people might have thought that he does. This is Jeff Dabe. He's from Minnesota, and he's earned himself the nickname Popeye from his fans, and he aims to become the world arm wrestling champion. Here is his hand stacked up next to a pretty normal woman-sized hand.
He has a baseball mitt.
Oh
Dude,
my god,
That guy's ring finger is bigger than my penis.
What do you think his dick looks like?
dude.
Like,
No,
kinda like that?
I would
It's
say,
anything
I
like his
mean,
hand.
honestly, I don't know. So this guy has massive hands and very large arms. Here's a video of him with 2 cans of soda, one of those mini cans and a regular can.
I got a little pop.
Oh,
I got a
stop
big
it,
pop.
dude. This is
Holy
comical.
shit, dude. His
This
arms
is-
are massive.
Oh, so he has a condition, obviously.
Well,
You can tell in this,
No,
because his head is way too small.
so here's the thing: the American
What is that?
wrestler's monster forearms measure 19 inches in
You say
circumference.
American wrestler?
He's an arm wrestler.
Okay, I thought he became a professional wrestler.
His hands are big enough to fit a basketball in each hand. The size of Dabe's arms are so peculiar that tests were carried out to try and discover what makes his arms so large, as photos show that he was born with oversized limbs. The University of Minnesota conducted tests looking for signs of gigantism and elephantitis, but the test proved that none of these were the case.
Wow.
The guy was just born with these.
Wow.
They're huge. He, given the size of his arms, it naturally made sense that he would compete in arm wrestling tournaments as a youngster. He said, quote, I arm wrestled as a senior in high school. The fans back then were the ones that named me Popeye. Having made a promising start in the sport, Jeff popped his right arm during a contest in 1986, which caused him to give up the sport prematurely.
Wow.
Can you imagine being the guy that popped this dude's fucking arm?
That'd be an accomplishment.
Right?
Yeah. Do you know if he was born in China by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
but-
the result of CRISPR.
He also can't get
CRISPR
HIV.
Could be. Could be.
Having made however, in 2012, Jeff decided to start competing seriously again, this time using his left arm. He went on to become the state champion for Minnesota, which booked him a ticket to compete in the World Arm Wrestling League, WAL. Jeff said, quote, thanks to the World Arm Wrestling League, I am now competing with people from all over America. It was so fun to travel to places we wouldn't normally go. I was always good at arm wrestling, but the size of my hands did shock people at first. I had the strength to back it up. People freak out when they see my hands in real life.
Honestly, dude.
Can you imagine shaking this guy's hand? You wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to.
But
You put your hand out to shake it, and he would engulf your entire hand.
you know how shocked those people were when they saw him? I'm equally as shocked that you guys didn't bat an eye at the World Arm Wrestling League. Like, do you guys both know that thing existed?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, arm wrestling.
Really?
There's arm wrestling is like a professional sport.
Wow. They have like touring teams and stuff.
I mean, so is professional slapping. Like, there's like slap wrestling leagues. You ever see that shit? Imagine getting slapped by this guy.
that would suck. Yeah. He would knock you out.
Yeah. He would kill. He would take your head off.
Guys, you just see how successfully I just put that baby down without waking her up.
Yeah.
It's really funny that she's sleeping on a super hard cold table.
It'd be nice on a day like this. It's
She
hot
looks,
as-
Yeah.
dude. She looks dead.
She's max
Like
chill.
it looks like there's a dead baby on the set.
She is max chill.
She's max chill.
Holy fuck.
She's breathing.
We
You guys want to taste human?
we had a conversation recently that's going to be coming out soon, and it had nothing to do with this, but the topic of conjoined twins came up in the conversation, and it made me curious. I don't know anything about conjoined twins. Do you know much about it?
I saw. Oh,
yeah.
As a twin?
is this the girls in BC?
No. This is just about the science of conjoined twins.
The only thing I know is that it's basically happens when there are identical twins who are in the same egg and it goes to separate, but it doesn't fully separate, and therefore
Well, according to this article, because I'm pretty sure I read some of it, we we haven't actually fully figured out why conjoined twins are a thing.
But that is what is happening though. The
Sure,
egg
yeah,
is
I'm sure.
it's separating and it just doesn't fully
So
split.
the science of conjoined twins has intrigued the world for hundreds of years. The exact causes of the phenomenon are still unknown. 60% of conjoined twins are stillborn. And 40% of live births die within a few days. It's a huge numbers of deaths. So like if you have conjoined twins, it's like very rare.
You know what I just realized? You know how this is a bit of a throwback, but we've talked about this before, how I am like a twin purist, like fraternal twins are fake twins.
Yeah.
I actually met a guy this morning at a coffee shop and he told me he had fraternal twin kids.
And
a
you
guy and a
laughed
girl.
at him?
And I held back. Every fiber in my being was screaming at him. I wanted to just be like, fake twins, fake. Your twins are fake.
Wow. What a
fucking fake.
What a
Fake
fucking
twins.
prick.
And because being an identical twin, I feel like I'm a twin purist. This is the first moment in my life where I've actually felt like I'm actually not.
This is the
purest.
pure. This is
Wow.
pure.
Purest form of
Yeah,
twin.
This
conjoined.
is
Right?
as pure as
I'm
it
a
gets.
fake twin.
Yeah, conjoined twins are
Those are the
ultimate
real
twin.
twins.
So when they do survive, each twin deals with a unique and delicate physiology, as you would expect. In addition, the discovery of conjoined twins can be overwhelming for parents. Michelle and Jeff Roderick learned she was carrying thoracopagus, or twins joined at the chest, during her 1996 pregnancy.
Whoa.
Quote, when we found out that the girls were going to be born conjoined, it was really scary at that time, Michelle said. Pediatric surgeon James Stein said the most severe form of thoracopagus twins is when the babies actually share a whole heart.
Whoa.
Isn't that fucking wild?
When you brought this up, I looked at this article on CBC. I think this was yesterday or the day before. These are a set of conjoined twins.
Should have put it in
from,
Slack, dude.
I don't know. I must have been seeing them when I was on the move or something. They're called the Hogan Twins. What are their names? I'm not sure what their names are. Here, look at
Their name is just Hulk Hogan.
Dude, look at these photos.
Oh my God, conjoined at the head. Oh my Lord, look at that.
yeah.
And now, do they share a brain? No,
Dude,
they couldn't.
the
They couldn't.
article that I read said that they see out of each other's eyes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man,
Wait,
so
how? Whoa. So wait. They
So they have to
both
share,
they see double vision,
Dude, I don't know.
you probably choose.
or
The
only
twins-
one side sees.
Here, listen to this. This is fucking nuts.
Wow.
Krista and Tatiana Hogan share the senses of touch and taste and even control one another's limbs. Tatiana can see out
Whoa.
of both of Krista's eyes, while Krista can only see out of one of Tatiana's.
So they must share the same brain.
Tatiana controls 3 arms and a leg, while Krista controls 3 legs and an arm. They can also switch to self-control of their limbs.
Dude, they would be so good at a
Whoa.
fucking potato sack race.
yeah,
The twins say they know one another's thoughts without having to speak.
Oh my God.
Talking in our heads is how they describe it. The
Oh.
girls are diabetic and have epilepsy. They take a regime of pills, blood tests, and need daily insulin injections.
So mind reading is a thing.
Wow.
that is
They can
Wow.
literally read each other's
because
minds.
they are each other's mind.
Dude, you
They're the
would
same.
assume
Wow.
that somebody with this in this circumstance would have like severe learning disabilities, but it says the twins go to a regular school and as of September 2017 have started grade 6. Though they are academically delayed, they are learning to read, write, and do arithmetic.
Do they just lay them on the table like Zaya? Because like they can't
Yeah.
stand.
No,
Yeah.
they can't. Look at this photo.
Wait, I want to see. Let me see too.
Oh, whoa, crazy.
What-
Oh yeah, they're like big enough
Yeah.
now.
Man, that is
Wow, that is
wild.
fucking crazy.
That
Holy
is wild.
shit.
Wow, that's crazy.
So in the case of these twins that had that in the case of twins that share a whole heart, there's no way for both twins to survive if they attempt a separation.
Right.
But for the Rodericks, MRI images showed that the girls didn't share the vital organ, which was a relief to them. Their daughters were relatively good candidates for separation surgery because they had 2 separate hearts. Even before the conjoined twins were separated, they struggled. Shauna wasn't doing good. She was slower to come around, Jeff Roderick said. Michelle Roderick said Shauna was smaller than her sister and had trouble. Quote, Janelle, in this case, would get really mad, Michelle said. She'd just start really throwing a fit. And when she cried so hard, she would actually push the surface blood off of her body into Shauna's body. And Shauna wasn't crying. And all of a sudden, she would turn beet red and Janelle looked really scary white.
Wow,
Whoa.
that's so nuts.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
The Rodericks and doctors felt the twins should be separated as soon as possible at just 30 days old. The girls were conjoined in 3 places, their breastbones, livers, and diaphragms. While the bones and diaphragm are simple to separate, the shared liver presented the most difficult challenge. Doctors had to carefully split the liver in half because the liver is the body's only organ able to regenerate itself. Each girl would have a liver that would grow to a normal size after their separation.
That sounds. Even though they're saying it's the most challenging bit, it seems convenient given the fact that it's the only organ that can.
I would have thought that the
regenerate.
diaphragm would have been hard.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're attached to the diaphragm.
If you guys had a conjoined twin brother and you were born, where would you want? And you had to be attached for the rest of your life. Where would you want to be attached?
The hip, just the hip,
Do you guys remember?
Yeah, that would make sense.
or the hands,
Did you guys ever
just
see
2
the,
hands. So it's like you're just fucking handcuffed to a dude.
Did you ever see
Your
the
brother.
movie with
That would be fun.
Matt Damon and I can't remember the other actor's name.
God, I forgot
And
about that.
they're
movie.
joined at the hip, and they're like,
No.
and they're like,
That's way
Was it a
back.
Matt Damon movie?
It was way back.
They grow to hate each other. I think there's like they both fall in love with the same girl maybe, and then they get dislodged, separated.
Separated, yeah.
And then they miss each other?
Yeah, and then they miss each other. And they go,
Yeah.
Deconnected.
dude, what's that movie called? It was really funny.
I forgot about that movie. So the overall surgery to separate them was about 7.5 hours. Separating the liver, it took them about 3.5.
Guys, Google, because I just Googled that other article. As soon as I put in Matt, it's at the second recommendation was Matt Damon Conjoined Twins.
No.
Oh wow,
Dude,
wow! that's-
Google. It's called
that's-
Stuck on You.
That's scary.
Right. Yeah, I remember Stuck on You.
2003.
The girls survived the risky procedure, but upon waking, the girls began to throw ferocious tantrums. Once they were separated, they actually would just throw a fit because they were used to somebody right there in their face. The girls recovered from the trauma over separation and over time. Today, the girls are 11 years old and thriving. Quote, I don't think it's very apparent that they were conjoined from the outward appearance, said the mother. There's only a few scars that are only visible if you look for them. The girls said they couldn't even fathom being constantly connected physically at 11.
Wow.
They're like, that would be fucking nuts.
Yo, Taylor, do you look at your baby and just go, wow, this is easy? This is much easier than
Well, I mean, I think, I know this is a little bit of like a detour from what we were just saying, but from day one, we were like, we're not going to try to be quiet. It was just like, she'll sleep when she can sleep. And so I feel, and obviously this is my first kid. I don't have a lot of experience. I've only been doing this for 3.5 months, but we can sit around and joke and laugh and be boisterous, and we could have music on or a TV or whatever, and she just does her thing. She just goes right to sleep and she chills there. But yeah, I mean, it would be a lot harder if she had another person attached to her.
Dude, yeah, I'd say.
For sure.
They go on to say that so in your case, Bri, when a fertilized egg splits into 2 distinct individuals, the result is identical twins. But one theory suggests that conjoined twins occur through a process called fusion, where the twins begin fully separated.
No.
Oh, wow.
So they're separated and then they go.
Wow, that's crazy.
That
join up.
seems so. I mean, I don't know anything about how that process works. It seems harder to put the two things back together than it does for them.
I mean,
just
but
to
not like I don't know how like sturdy cell membranes.
Now
are, though.
that's a theory. So
Yeah.
the fusion theory
it's
has
a dumb theory.
the fusion theory
I'm a twin. I know.
has a certain logic to it. The fusion theory has a certain logic to say perhaps the embryos were separate, said twins specialist Dr. John Templeton Jr. And then for some reason they readhere to each other and then they might be joined. Yet many doctors think fission, not fusion, causes conjoined twins. This theory holds that a fertilized egg starts to split into 2 separate twins but remains partially connected. So that was the thing that you were thinking.
That makes more sense to me just based on how the process generally happens. But I'm more confused about Dr. Stapleton and how he decided he wanted to become a twin specialist. Is that weird? Like, if you're not born a twin, is that a weird thing to want to become?
I mean, his name is Stapleton, so it's like it is kind of fitting.
Yeah, I
Like
guess
he
so.
has to be a twin to be, like
It would make more sense
Yeah.
for him
But
to be
it's-
interested
like
in
similar
that
to
field.
how all oncologists have to have had cancer.
Right,
It's
of
actually
course,
it's actually
exact same
it's actually
Yeah.
Templeton though. So
Stapleton.
Yeah.
Um,
you just wished that.
all right, let's move on to I think one of my favorite things that I've read this entire year in this week's edition of What the Hell.
You're chill, stay sleeping. You don't have to.
You want me to try?
I mean, like if you high pitch yell,
You know how I
so wake
usually
up.
do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we'll keep it a little
All right.
lower.
I think you should do it.
What the hell?
Okay.
Do you guys know vabbing? This is like the
I
cool
do.
new trend.
I do because I read the article.
I didn't read the article, but I read the word vabbing, and I felt like I just got it. I felt like I went, I get it.
So vabbing is the
Hold on, is this vabbing?
Yeah, this is
Hold on,
vabbing.
is this vabbing?
no,
Like,
that's
vabbing when I-
vibe chilling, dude.
That's my shoulder.
The TikTok trend that says you should use vaginal juices as perfume.
I like listen, bro science from a bro science lens. I'm like, I can see how that would work.
I get it, dude. I get it.
There's mad pheromones.
That's
happening,
it.
Obviously.
So it feels like just yesterday, our brains were all trying to compute the process of wonders of the Mormon sex practice, soaking. Do you guys know what soaking is?
No.
You don't know what
You
soaking
pee?
is? Soaking is fucking hilarious,
Pee
dude.
or-
Tell me.
So I could butcher this, but in the Mormon practice,
There's
sex
so much misinformation.
in the Mormon practice, sex before marriage is like a big no-no.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it isn't the act of penis in vagina. It's the act of thrusting. That's the bad.
Oh,
right.
so soaking-
Soak, yeah.
that's the bad.
Soaking is what these
It's
is
hanging
what,
out.
is what Mormon teens do, and they just slip the penis in and just let it sit there. Now there was
But
so
you kind of, but there's
You're vibe chilling.
at least
there's at least
one
one thrust.
thrust.
I know, and so like in the eyes of God, that one thrust, you'll
No.
get forgiven.
What
I
do
don't
they
know.
not
think?
thrust,
Do they think
that's
it's like
an-
a
it's-
speed thing, an aggression?
What if
thing?
she's if the vagina owner is just sitting on it?
Yes.
Then that's not a thrust, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the workaround. I just figured it out. That's the workaround.
Okay.
okay. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
So you
I
soak.
love how fucking people justify shit to themselves.
But here's the even funnier part. You get so she sits on the pee-pee.
Hold on, it's not the justification. It's actually the rule. It's actually the first rule. That's
First rule is
fucking
it's just no humping.
Yeah.
So she sits on the pee-pee, and then I guess these teens, what they would do is they would get like their buddies to come over, and they would get under the bed or like to the side of the bed, and they would just shake the fuck out of the bed so that there's like some rigorous movement.
No, that's gonna be a myth.
That's it, man. That's
Guys,
soaking. That's what
just-
soaking's all about.
Just fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, you're
God
doing
doesn't.
it. Guess
God
what?
doesn't
You're doing it.
care. Yeah, like I mean, I know that you think God cares,
God
but
doesn't
if God does exist, and I'm not going to say He does or doesn't, but let's say He does.
he don't care.
He doesn't care.
He don't care.
He doesn't care. Get the
Nah.
fucking humpity hump.
Also, yeah, never mind.
Okay, so so we were just getting over soaking, but yet here we are again, another viral TikTok trend that we need to talk about. It's called vabbing,
We're just getting over soaking.
a poetic merging of the words vagina and dabbing. So how does it work? Basically, you wear your vaginal fluids as perfume. You put your fingers inside yourself, dab your juices on your wrist, neck, and behind the ears, wherever you'd normally put perfume. People talking about it on TikTok reckon the pheromones from your pussy will help you attract partners, and they swear by it. So vabbing on Urban Dictionary is, quote, simply put, vabbing, vagina dabbing. This is when you stick your lady fingers in between your lady lips and you put your lady juice behind your lady ears so that people want to have sex with your lady box.
Oh, God, wait, hold on. Is that what it says? And what site is this?
That's from Urban Dictionary. So
Of course it is.
influencer and fashion writer Mandy Lee has kickstarted the viral trend on TikTok, posting a video about vabbing a few weeks ago, and since then it has over 1.5 million views. She says, quote, "I swear if you vab, you will attract people like a date, a one-night stand, or you'll just get free drinks all night, she says.
Dude, you know what
wow.
else you could do if you wanted to do that without rubbing your pussy juices all over your body? You could just go, hey, want to fuck?
I mean, that would for some people
Tends
that
to
might
work
work.
for a lot of.
Yeah,
I think that
women
would have
do.
a pretty high success rate.
yeah. But
If
hey,
you're out.
but hey, here's the thing. Maybe you're looking for someone who really likes the smell of your pheromones. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's the way to do it. It's like
I think
you're trying to
like,
attract. You're trying to
talking
attract
about.
the mate,
yeah.
the ideal mate.
You're talking
It's
about one night stand. We're talking about
we're talking
yeah,
about
no,
we're talking
but
about
we're talking
love.
about love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think she's talking about
Yeah,
love.
but we're
Well,
talking about
but
love.
you're talking about love?
Yeah.
You think that this is the path to love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
You
tried,
know when you smell-
I tried this.
Yeah.
This is how Kira and I started dating.
Mhm.
I just jizzed all over my face,
Yeah.
rubbed it in,
Uh-huh.
and then we went on a date. And she was like, "You smell amazing." And
It
I was
actually,
like, I know,
in my mind, it doesn't
pineapple?
work for guys.
like pineapple.
You don't think it does?
No, I don't think. I don't feel like it gives off the same sort of pheromones.
Well, I think what happens is that the
You think it
smell,
does?
I think the smell and the pheromones are right on, but you're left with this crustiness that you
Not mine.
that you can't.
Not me.
Well, that's your special case.
Yeah.
Your special case. You're a rare. You're a canary in the coal mine, so to speak. And
I don't think that's what. I don't.
It's
think
not-
that that's
it's
what
not-
that is.
You're a
I'm a diamond in the rough.
You're a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
You're a needle in a haystack. And for most of us, it's a crustiness after a
I don't
very
think so.
short period of time.
So you're not
'Cause
talking
it's
about.
kind of like wood glue.
Oh,
Every
I
time
know.
it comes out,
Dude.
you're
Yeah.
fascinated with how quickly it dries.
My
Yes.
friend, I know. I share a bed with you when we go out on the road, and I know,
jizz in the bed while we're
dude, the amount of times that I've woken up and I went to pull the sheets off, and the sheets are just like
stuck to
just
you.
like it. The sheets are like if someone
Yeah.
wet it and put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
I go to rip the sheets off, and it's just a cardboard. It's like cardboard on it. So I go, "What is this?"
And it feels like it feels even though it's so like solid already, it feels like you have cobweb, like there's stickiness, like there's just like it's just all over.
I go to wring it
so-
out, and it's just dust.
You know what though? The thing about vagina juice is
God.
it's not like the cum, it's not like sticky cum. It's like just the juice part, like the pre-wet vagina stuff. So it's not as dusty as like it's not as dusty as if you were like coming on like you did, Jared, when you met Kira.
No, like vaginal fluid is just like
Yeah,
it's
just-
like
it's like
you
perfume.
ever touch a slug? So you touch a slug, and then you're like, man, my hand's real sticky, and then it's like hard to get that sticky off. It's kind of like that.
You know what the
Yeah, but
funniest
it's not-
part
it
about this
definitely doesn't
whole thing
crust
is?
up.
Is then is all of a sudden becoming acutely aware that there's a baby on the table right in front of us.
and
Yeah,
and
that's
she
right.
could be vabbing in no time. So okay.
Ew.
So we're fucking brutal. Okay, so where did vabbing come from? Who knows where the practice of wearing your vaginal fluids as perfume originated from? Maybe cave people. If you've done research, DM us. But
Holy shit, dude, this is so whack.
I bet this article reveals that there's some science to it.
yeah, well, I
No,
doubt it.
I
I
don't-
highly,
I highly doubt it.
It does say, what does science say? I didn't read this article. Okay, so we'll get there. But according to Mandy Lee, the term vabbing came from a podcast called Secret Keepers Club. Comedians Carly Aquilano and Emma Willman, who hosts the show, spoke to a listener who experimented using her coochie juice as perfume. She said she had overwhelmingly positive results, and now all of her friends are doing it too.
See, the anecdotal evidence for me just really doesn't.
I
do
wonder
it.
how she
Does it for
structured.
me.
I wonder how she structured that personal study.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how well she was doing before anyway. You know, like if she
Yes.
was having zero
Yeah.
luck,
Yeah.
and then as soon as she starts vabbing, she just can't keep.
We need
pursue her.
we need a control.
if it was the other way around
This is
and
what
there
we
was a
need.
guy who was like, listen, coming on your hands and then rubbing it on your neck actually helps you get women when you go to a bar, then I would be
Well-
and was doing that actively and it was working, I would be
Like,
more
you do it in a
surprised.
heartbeat,
This
just on
might-
just on word
No,
of
I
mouth.
would just be more surprised.
This might change your tune here. Popular sexologist, all right, so someone who like was in the field, Shan Boudram, who hosts the podcast Lovers and Friends with Shan Boudram. is also a huge fan of vaping. No, sorry, vabbing. She's a huge fan of blowing ghosts. She wrote about it in her book, The Game of Desire. She raved about it on podcasts and interviews and on YouTube. Boudrim says she's been doing it for over 15 years and says by transferring your pheromones, you're transferring that excitement and making people drawn to your raw human scent. So how does it work, or does it work? To figure out whether or not there's any legitimacy behind vabbing, you have to start with the legitimacy of pheromones. Pheromones are a chemical produced by the glands in animals and insects that transfers information. So, dogs, they piss and they squirt out pheromones out of their ass. Mm-hmm. That's the whole reason why they're always sniffing each other's butts. But according to Professor Mark Elgar, a professor of evolutionary biology at the University of Melbourne, humans don't have these glands. He said, it's the oldest and most ancestral way in which we communicate. Do we use it in humans? I'm sure we did in our ancestral past. We may have been using odors when Homo sapiens first sort of emerged as a distinct species. But do we use them now? I suspect no. Professor Elgar says there's no research that vabbing works. He said, quote, I think the whole idea of vabbing is hilarious, and I hope no one takes it too seriously.
So the sexologist is completely out to lunch and should consider another field of work.
Perhaps. He also says when it comes to trying to attract potential lovers, humans are looking at, quote, a whole range of other signals. It could be how you look. It could be how you speak, the frequency. Your voice seems to have an influence. How amusing you are, how charming you are, and it can be all sorts of things.
Yeah, that was the first thing that jumped out to me in the whole pheromones thing. It's like, yeah, okay, one aspect of like a super crazy complex web of why we might be attracted to a person, and like pheromones are definitely not going to be like 90% of that pie.
Yeah, or this guy.
I don't even know why. I don't even know why I just
guy,
seriously made an argument for why this isn't happening.
Maybe this guy is actually this is the secret, and maybe he's protecting it.
Maybe, yeah.
And maybe he's vabbing himself.
Back to
maybe he is a chapter head of the Illuminati.
I'm just saying, somebody should look into it.
Well, sexologist Shan Bodrum, again, coming back to her, also acknowledges that there is no science behind the practice of vabbing, but for her, it's all about how it makes her feel. She says there is no conclusive advice on the impact of vabbing. The fun is when it's something that you can do because you believe it will make you feel more confident. Whatever makes you feel like you can bust that shit open and feel hella confident. And she's right. Anyone who is anyone to judge what makes you feel empowered, sexual, and confident? If you use your puss juice as perfume, does that for you? Unless you have bacterial vaginosis, there's no harm. Because if you did have BA or BV and you were putting that on your neck, you're not doing yourself any favors.
You know what's interesting though?
Are you like giving yourself a rash or something?
No, you'd just be very smelly.
I would hazard a guess.
BV is it smells like a hot wharf.
I would hazard a guess.
It really does. It's something else.
Do you guys agree with the idea that if there was a group of 5 women who vabbed and went to a bar and were looking to have one night stands, that they would all successfully secure a mate for the evening?
That was really funny. Oh my god, you guys got to see this baby right now. Sorry, that was fucking hilarious.
I was saying that if there was five women who vabbed before going to the bar and wanted to have a one night stand, do you think that they would leave the bar that night having a one night stand?
Well, if what's her name, Borman, to her point, or Boudrim, if those women, if it makes them feel more confident, then yeah, sure.
I would say 100% they would.
Yeah.
I'm torn on the I get torn frequently on the whole like this like empirically does nothing, but it makes me feel a certain way. Cause like in some ways I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Like that makes a whole lot of sense to me. And in other ways another part of my brain is like, but how does that not get negated by the fact that it does nothing?
It doesn't, because it's a blind like willingness to believe that it has an impact. So the people who are doing it, who feel more confident, they don't actually know. They probably don't know It's like a willful
That makes sense
blindness.
to me.
Like
that makes sense to me.
ignorance.
But this woman who's the sexologist,
Right.
like in that scenario, that
Do you think
that
she's
doesn't-
really vabbing though?
that doesn't make sense to me. She
What do you
said she
think?
was doing it for
Yeah,
years.
she's been doing
Yeah.
it for
She said she was
15
doing it for years, and she goes,
Yeah.
and there's no evidence to suggest that this scientifically works.
I mean,
So I
like,
go, if you know that it doesn't scientifically work, it's just interesting to me that you can be of two complete.
yeah.
Maybe there's
But I mean-
not
but-
enough
but I
evidence
mean,
to suggest that it doesn't.
I
either.
know that scientifically it is not proven that if I get
ruling
my
on the field stands.
I know that it's scientifically it's not proven that if I get my hair cut, it's going to increase my chances as a person going out there like trying to date.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I get my hair cut twice a week. I don't look once every
That's a lot of haircuts.
I get my hair cut once every 2 weeks. I don't look that different between
$2,000
the two
a year
haircuts.
in haircuts.
But if I feel more confident in getting that haircut and then going out and trying to like meet a partner, that I know that haircut's not actually doing much, but the way it makes me feel
yeah.
does change the way I am
I
out
get
and
it.
about.
I get
right?
it. I think we're into a slightly different territory with haircuts, but
mean, it's the same
I get
thing.
it.
It's the
I
same
get
thing.
it. Well, it's I wouldn't say it's the same thing
It would be though if someone was saying it is impure, like it, like
because I think that of like someone's first visual impression of you
I see what you're saying.
is a much bigger piece of the pie.
No,
when it
wait,
comes
wait,
to
wait,
someone
I
making
got
a
one.
No, hold on.
decision
But
as to
that's
how attractive
but that's
they are
my
to you.
point. Is that when I get my hair cut, and between the time that I don't have my hair cut and the time that I do have my hair cut, I don't look that much different.
Sure.
Yeah.
But when I get my hair cut, I feel more confident.
Right.
I don't look that much different
I get
anyway.
it. I understand.
So you know what I mean?
Which is why I get it. I get it and I don't get it, which is ironic because I'm explaining why I don't understand how this person can be of two minds.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you get it.
And I also don't.
Yeah.
But you do.
But I also do.
Well, folks, hope you enjoyed this week's conversation. If you want to support the podcast, you can do that by leaving a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts, or you can rate the podcast on Spotify if that's where you're listening. And of course, you can always join the conversation over on Discord. We've got new folks joining in every day. It's such a fun little community we got going on over there. We'd love to see you. If you want to join the conversation over on Discord, it's free. Just click the link in the show notes and you can become a part of our little community.
And honestly, very
Quick, Taylor. She's going to start crying.
very interested in knowing whether you have been vabbing or not.
Oh my God, yes.
So, and if you do, how does it make you feel? And why do you vab? Let us know. Letters at sickboypodcast.com. And you can just be as detailed as you would like in that, because we're really interested in vabbing. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you can go to sickboypodcast.com/contact and you can fill out the form.
And thanks, as always, to the people who make this show happen. Huge thank you to Zaya and to Donovan Morgan, who does the sound design on our Monday and Wednesday episodes.
Actually, I do the Wednesday episodes. No big deal. Whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You do. And to Rich O'Coin, who does the theme music, and Jeff Lonis, our manager. We love all you guys.
Go support our Lawn Summer Nights team. We would love to get more donations, so go do that. That is it for this week, folks.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
Zaya.
Zaya.
And I'm Jerry, and this is Sick Boy.